What's going on, everybody? Sam Cigar Man here. Welcome back to my channel. Now, recently I've seen a lot of people smoking these cigars from a company called Dama. This is their business card right here. And as a cigar smoker and a cigar reviewer, I'm always curious. I want to try what everybody else is trying. So I just happened to get lucky. I found Dama and I placed an order for their sampler pack. Now it comes with cigars, 6 cigars, excuse me. And this is one of the packs. This is what it looks like. It's got the sticker on there. 3 different sizes of cigars, and there was 2 of them. So I already opened up one to pull out the cigars. And throughout this video, I'm going to test each and every single one, or at least I'll smoke one of these each to try and come back with my opinions on the cigar and to learn a little bit about this company, because I really don't have a lot of information, and I'll probably be reviewing the company and getting the information from their website as I'm filming throughout this. I'm going to try to get that information for you guys as I do this review throughout. So there's going to be multiple clips put together for the final product. So please just stick around and maybe we can learn something together. And maybe in the end, I will be able to set up a one-on-one live stream from my YouTube channel with the owner of Dama. And that owner's name is Chantel. So maybe I could reach out to her after I do my little review here on these cigars and have her talk more about the company and other things, maybe answer some of my questions that I'm going to bring up throughout my video right here. I can already tell that I just got them in the mail today, and I ordered them last week. So it's been about a week. So they're coming from Florida. I'm here in North Carolina, and just touching here, I can feel that it's got a lot of humidity in there. It's pretty squishy. It's not rock solid hard, but it is pretty soft. So that tells me that I should probably let these sit inside my humidor for a little bit and get acclimated to my settings here in North Carolina. So I will be back. Like I said, I'll be giving notes and asking questions off the website and sampling each of these cigars. So stay tuned, follow along with me as I do my review on Dama Cigars. Thanks. Okay, welcome back. So I'm here to review Dama Cigars, and I have my iPad sitting next to me with some information on the company. So let's get to know Dama Cigars. She has in her About Us that she is she's always had a profound interest in cigars. This started when she was a child, and her father was also a cigar lover, and he was also into playing poker. So this is where she got her interest in cigars, and the name of the cigars, which I'll go over here and explain each of the ones to you guys, so if you purchase, you'll know which ones that you will be getting. It's a pretty interesting little just short clip about her and her father and how she got into the cigar world and the cigar businesses. Short and sweet, very nice. And just to let you guys know, I'm filming out here in my garage. This is my cigar area. It is currently 37 degrees. I have a little heater going on, and that's to keep me warm while I'm out here. This is my only safe space to smoke a cigar at my house, because it's just too freaking cold to go outside. So you have to deal with me as I film inside my garage. So let's keep looking and learn some more about Dama Cigars. All right. So she currently has 3 cigars that she offers from her company of Dama, and each of them here I'm going to explain. This is called the Flush, which is a 7 by 47. So it's considered a Churchill. So 7 inches long and a 47 ring gauge. So this is called the Flush. The Royal is a Robusto, a 5 by 40. So that's 5 inches long and a 40 ring gauge cigar. And now, finally, we have the King, which is a Toro, and this is a 6 by 60. So that's 6 inches long and a 60 ring gauge. What intrigues me most about this one here, the King, is that it has a little pigtail here at the end. So what we call a pigtail is where they have the leftover tobacco as they put the cap on the end of the cigar here, and you twist it and form it, and it turns out to look like a pigtail. Now, as a cigar smoker, I know that a lot of times people want to use cutters to cut their cigars, or a punch, something of that nature. But what's unique about cigars that have a pigtail on it is you can actually put your thumb underneath and just pop off this little pigtail, and it will create a draw hole here for you. So you don't even have to cut it or punch it or anything. Just tear this little piece off right here. Will give you the draw hole so you can smoke and enjoy your cigar. So now let's get in and let's talk about the Flush. Again, it is a Churchill, 7 inches long by a 47 ring gauge. It has a Connecticut shade wrapper on it. That's what you see right here in front of you. The binder, which is what holds all the tobacco together, is going to be a Dominican. And the filler, which is everything on the inside of here, that is going to be aged Dominican. So the Connecticut shade itself is farmed in Connecticut, and it's a River Valley wrap. The cigar is going to be paired with Dominican filler, which is inside here, and the binder is from Ecuador. So when they make a cigar, they take the leaves and they're going to bunch them up. That'll be your filler. Then they're going to put a wrapper around that to hold it together. Okay, so that's called a binder. Then they put another leaf around that, and that is your wrapper. And that is how they make a cigar, in case you guys want to know. So, according to the website, this should be a nice and smooth and creamy cigar. So, I'm going to start off with this one first, but before I light this one up and start smoking it and give you my thoughts on it, I'm going to go ahead and describe the other cigars. Now we have the Royal. The Royal is a Robusto size, 5 inches long by a 40 ring gauge. All right. So this has a Cameroon Maduro wrapper, a binder that is Dominican, and a filler of Dominican Criollo 98, Piloto, and Seco Cubano. Now, this is very interesting. I have always been a fan of, 1, Cameroon wrapper cigars, 2, the filler itself, the Criollo 98, and the Piloto and the Seco Cubano are excellent tobaccos within a cigar. I've enjoyed this from many other companies that make cigars. So this is probably going to be about a medium body, where the one before with the Connecticut wrapper be more like your mild cigar. So this will be more like a medium cigar. So let's go and check out our next cigar. All right, our next cigar is the King. It's a Toro, 6 inches long by a 60 ring gauge. And for a 60 ring gauge, it looks kind of smaller than 60. I don't have anything. I normally have something that I can measure this with, but to me, it just looks and feels smaller than a 60 ring gauge, but that could just be me. So the wrapper on the outside is going to be a Habano, which is a very good wrapper leaf. Habano wrapper on the outside. The inside, the binder that holds the tobacco together, is a Nicaraguan. And the filler on the inside is going to be extra aged Nicaraguan. Now, you'll notice here on the end of it, this is not like the other cigars. See how this one is cut nice and smooth, and you can see the tobacco inside there. Where on this one here, all this is right here is the wrapper leaf. That's this one right here, the Habano, that's just folded over right here on the end of it. And that's not a huge concern or anything. This will burn off as you light the cigar. It'll actually provide more flavor as you're lighting it up and smoking it in the beginning. So I like this too. This is good. Plus it also has the pigtail on the end of it. I really like this. So this also intrigues me very much about this cigar from this company. So I'm going off her notes over here on her website. Habano triple cap wrapper, truly fit for a king. So just kind of looking at the tobaccos that she used to make this makes me wonder if this is a medium or medium to full body. I will know more once I get in to start smoking this one right here. Again, this is the King. It has the pigtail on it. It has the overlapping of the wrapper down here to cover the end of the foot of the cigar. Let's talk about pricing. For the Flush, which is the Churchill right here with the Connecticut shade wrapper on it, a single stick right here will cost you $10. A 5-pack will run you about $45, and a box of 25, which is really unheard of nowadays, unless certain companies put it out. Normally they sell boxes of 20, but in this case you get a box of 25, so you get a couple extra in there for $2.25. So price point wise, that is really not too bad for this cigar right here. That is one heck of a deal. Let's see what the prices are on the other cigars. This one here is the Royal. It is the Robusto, the 5x40. A single stick right here will cost you $10. A pack of 5 will run you $45. A pack of 6 in a 10, which is, I've never seen one of those before, but I'm curious about it, will run you about $55. And a pack of 25 will run you $225. So you're actually getting more bang for your buck. So far, I'm liking this. Let's check out our next cigar. All right, so now we have the King of all kings, right? So this is the Toro, the 6x60. A single stick will run you about $12. The 5-pack will run you $54. The pack of 6 in a 10 will run you $65, and a pack of 25 will run you $270. Overall, these are good prices. Let's talk about shipping. So all of these cigars that you see here from Bella Dama, they are kept in a humidor at their factory or their store where they are located in Florida. They stay there, so they are climatized and will always be maintained at the proper humidity and as well as the temperature. So normally you want to keep your cigars at 70% humidity and 70 degrees for the temperature. So that is like the ultimate best way to take care of your cigars when storing them in a humidor. So they will keep them there until it's time to ship off to you. From there, they will carefully wrap your cigars in paper and bubble wrap and everything. That is how I received mine when she shipped them off to me. If you spend over $200, you get free priority shipping. If you spend anywhere between $10 to $199, they will charge you $7.95 for USPS priority shipping. They will email you a tracking number, which they did. So I kept track of when it was coming in to me. They do not offer any overnight or express shipping. And it says here, all shipments will require a signature from someone that is over the age of 21 I did not have to worry about that. I'm 46, and nobody questioned me. So there you go. And they have information here if there's any problems, any concerns. You are more than welcome to reach out to their customer service at belladamacigars.com. And they encourage you, please reach out to me, let us know your concerns, and they will take care of you. If you have to return anything back to them, they will not pay for the shipping to return the product back to them, and they may charge you a 20% restocking fee. So keep that in mind. So Dama Cigars is currently located in Sarasota, Florida. That's down there by Tampa, if I remember my geography correctly. And when I was last down in Tampa, I had an opportunity to meet up with her, but by the time I got the information, I was already too far away from her, or else I would have been more than glad to meet her in person and do a one-on-one interview and sit down and get to know more about her, the company, and the cigars. Unfortunately, due to time constraints and my own personal job, and I'm sure she was just as busy, we could not make that happen. So again, I'm going to sample all of her cigars. I'm going to give you my thoughts on them, and then I'm still going to try to reach out to her and see if I can't schedule a one-on-one with her on my YouTube channel. So we are going to start off with the flush, which is the Churchill, a 7x47, and we're going to use a straight cutter. And as you can see here on the end, I just did a straight cut. I just barely shaved any of the tobacco off of the cap on this cigar right here. Now it is, looking at it, it's pretty veiny sitting there. This could be due to the cold weather because it was cold when they shipped the cigars. I have had them sit in my humidor for the last 3 days or so, and that has greatly helped. It's not as squishy, doesn't have a whole lot of humidity in there. Also, I want to bring up that when she ships the cigars, which I did not get one on this, but I'm sure if you bought a box of her cigars, you would get a Boveda pack in there. And this is what this looks like, a Boveda. I also pronounce it as Boveda. And what this is a humidity pack, and it will release humidity as needed when the cigars need it, or take it back when the cigars don't need it. This is just an example that I pulled out to show everybody. You can purchase these at different humidities. I like the 69. That seems to be the best humidity control pack for me in my humidor here in North Carolina. So this is what I use. But we're going to get back into this flush here. We've got a straight cut here on the end of it. Again, I just shaved off just enough to get a draw hole there on the cap of my cigar. The foot here, this is what it looks like. And now we're going to fire it up. So as you can see, I'm just going around, and I don't have the torch too close to the cigar, but close enough where I can ignite the wrapper on the outside. I'm rotating my cigar as I light it because I want to try to keep it as straight as possible as it's burning. So there we go. If I get my, there we go. Might need a little bit more right there. There we go. All right, so it is a Connecticut shade, so it's not going to provide any flavors or anything like that. This is just normal tobacco rolled up. And what I'm looking for here is a pretty good burn right there on the end of it. As you can see at the foot over here, pretty good burn. That's always good. If it starts canoeing or anything like that, that could be due to how the cigar was sitting in my humidor. If there's any tunneling on the end here, you'd see where it would burn in there, deeper inside of the cigar, and on the outside it would still look just like this. So far, I don't see any of that. So we're going to smoke on this for a while here, and I'll come back with some more thoughts. So I just want to come back on here real quick. Smoking pretty good so far. And as you can see, I haven't gotten very far into the cigar itself, but I did had a little bit of a tight draw. And so I just cut a little bit more off here on the cap to give me more of an airflow. Now it's smoking a lot better. And I'm pairing this cigar with some whiskey or bourbon, one of the two. Now, I can tell that this is definitely a mild cigar. But again, I am a regular cigar smoker, so I'm going to always, I'm going to be different than maybe you yourself as a consumer. If you're new to the cigar world, I'd recommend always start off with a mild cigar. And actually, it is not that bad, really. And I don't mean that negatively about this company or their cigars. It is a mild cigar. So now that I've started smoking, I can feel still a little bit squishy here. So before I light up the other cigars and smoke them, I like it a little bit more firmer. This is a little bit squishy, as you can see. See that right there? You don't want to press too hard. You don't want to crack it. And when you touch your cigar, you want to have a little bit of give to it, but not too much. And I think this one still needs to should have sat in my humidor a little bit longer. That's just my personal preference. So the other ones, before I light them up and smoke them, I'm going to let those sit a little bit longer in my humidor. This has only been about 3 days, but I was really itching to try out her cigars. I normally like a little bit more firmer. It's firmer up here towards the cap, but it's a little squishy down here towards the foot of the cigar. And again, I think that has to do with the change in temperature coming from Florida to North Carolina. Down there it's warmer. Up here right now it's a little bit cooler. So this could have had some effects on the cigars itself. So that I don't mess up the other cigars, I'm going to let them sit in my humidor a little bit longer. And then I'll pull those out and give those a try. So as you can see, I'm probably about an inch into it so far. Great flavoring throughout the cigar. It's got some subtle hints of changing of flavoring. My palate really can't pick out earthy tones and stuff like that. Maybe on the stronger cigars I could. But I mean, so far, got a little bit of canoeing action going on here. It just happens. So what I'll do to fix this is I'll light up on this side of the cigar and try to even it out. So that way it just doesn't burn and canoe up the side of the cigar here. What I have noticed though is that each of the cigars all sport the same band on them. Same looking Bella Dama band. Now, what I would like to see is, had I not done my research and read off the website to educate you guys, I would not know that this is the flush without looking at the website. What I'd like to see in the future, maybe have the name, the flush, written down right here on there. That way I know, hey, I'm going to smoke the flush. That way it'll be, I look at the cigar, Connecticut, has the name Flush, then I'll know when I'm smoking on there. Maybe put something on the foot of the band says flush on it. I don't know. These are just little picky things that I come up with that I see that I like to change. So as you can see here on my ash, now I did do a little bit of touching up on here. I was trying to make it burn even on the cigar here. But I probably have about maybe an inch, inch and a half into it right there. And normally I would let the ash stay on there to see how long it would hold as I smoke the cigar. But when doing that, unless I'm in a cigar long ash contest, I'm going to knock off the ash on here so I don't spill it everywhere. And in doing so, it fell right off. No problem there. So it just tells me that there's a lot of air in between the tobacco leaves, and this could be due to the weather coming from Florida, shipping to North Carolina. So, but other than that, I mean, the cigar is looking pretty good right here. A little veiny, but it happens. That's that differentiation between the humidity and everything like that. But so far, it's smoking pretty good. So we'll keep on smoking. This is smoking pretty good. If you're looking for a mild cigar and you want to support Bella Dama, I'm going to recommend this one here. I'm going to keep smoking it. Normally, on some cigars, I will take the band off here and just keep smoking it up to the nub. But I think on this one here, I'm just going to smoke it up to the band here and we'll call it a night. But so far, I'm getting about, I don't remember what time I started at, but it should be close to about an hour when I get done. And great mild cigar. Chantel, you did great. This is good. Just a few minor things, but again, you know, with the veininess and the looseness, but that's not on you. That's just shipping and the two different temperature areas. Other than that, I think this is a great mild cigar for anybody that's wanting to start out and try a cigar. The $10 price range is pretty on point with a lot of cigars nowadays. That's average. So there you go. A mild cigar, Bella Dama. This is called the Flush. This is the Churchill, a 7x47. So there you go. This will conclude my thoughts and smoking of this cigar. I'm going to go ahead and just finish this off myself. All right. So I'm back here, and now I'm going to test the Bella Dama Royal. This is a 5x40 Robusto, 5 inches long, 40 ring gauge. And this has the Cameroon Maduro, Dominican binder, and Dominican Criollo 98 Piloto, as well as the Seco Cubano fillers. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a punch on the cap here, and then we're going to use a soft flame to light it up. So as you can see here, I did a punch on the end of it for the cap. Now we're going to do the soft flame to light it. Just going to try to get the edges of the wrapper lit up there, and we'll concentrate on the center. A soft flame is a little bit different than a regular torch lighter. As you can see, it is soft. It's not that overpowering torch lighting it up, so it takes a little bit more to get the cigar going. But this is made by Zycar. Pretty awesome. Okay. I see I have one little area here that needs some touching up. Pretty good little starter burn there with my soft flame lighter. As you can see, I missed an area right here. I'm gonna try to touch that up. All right, it's not as veiny as the other cigar that I've tried, her Connecticut, but this one has a little bit of veininess into it. It's not too squishy. It's actually probably at the right firmness and a little bit of giving to it. You don't want to squeeze it too much, and you don't want it too hard. If it's too squishy, there's too much humidity. It's a wet tobacco. It's not going to burn very well. The leaves are going to be loose and your ash will fall off a lot faster. If it's too firm, then you'll have a too tight of a draw and it just won't smoke very well. So you want to kind of keep it in between those two. This is called the Royal 5x40. All right, so I probably smoked about an inch into it so far. Flavoring is not too bad. It's going to be a medium-bodied cigar. It's not squishy or anything like that. It's holding up pretty good. As you can see, I have the punch down here, and the burn is staying pretty on point throughout. The ash will not knock off, so this is rolled really good. Also, I think because it has sat in the humidor a little bit longer, that is what's keeping everything together, unlike the first cigar that I tried out of her selection. So we'll keep smoking. I'll be back with more. So I have pulled the band off of my cigar, and I was just checking it out and seeing if they use any of the pectin, which is a vegetable glue, is what they normally put on the bands to hold the band onto the cigar. The pectin is going to be like a vegetable-based glue, if you will. It will not harm you. It's completely safe, and a lot of cigar companies use this to help keep the band on the cigar. Also, they use it to sometimes seal the wrapper as I roll in the cigar, as well as put it on the cap. So just in case you guys didn't know that, now you know. So now I'm taking a look at this band that I removed here, and I don't feel any embossing or anything like that. It's kind of a pretty plain band, kind of like a, you know, you print out stickers or whatever and you just peel off the sticker. That's kind of what this reminds me of, although this is not sticky whatsoever here on the back. But they use something, and I can't really tell if it's the pectin or what. I'm going to assume that that's what that is, that they use to seal the band around on the cigar. Normally when you buy a cigar, and for me, when it gets closer to the band, this will heat up and the pectin will get loose enough where you can just peel this band off here. That way you can keep smoking your cigar and go down to the nub. This one here, I just kind of reached over and just pulled on it and it peeled right off. So a little bit further along with the cigar here. Still burning pretty good. That's good. Ash still firmly on there. Not going to come off. I'm sure if I tap my finger on the edge of it, which let me get my ashtray here and let's try this out. All right, fell right off. And I'm just going to roll it around on the side here, get off any excess so I don't drop ashes everywhere. So far, it's smoking good. I haven't really noticed any flavor changes or anything. It's pretty the same up to this point here. So I'm going to keep smoking it and see if I get any changes out of this or anything. I'd say I'll probably get some earthiness out of it. that's about it, really. It's just staying the same. I don't know. All right, so you can see, I got another nice long ash. Pretty decent burn so far. Pretty good. Cap, it looks like it's shifting a little bit on me. It could be due to my slobber. Other than that, it's holding up pretty good on the cigar. The Connecticut is called the Flush, and this one is called the Royal. If I could only choose one of the two, then I'm going to go with the Royal so far and say that this is the one that I would choose if I had those two offered to me. The Flush is good for a Connecticut if you're looking for something mild, but if you're like me, I tend to gravitate towards medium full, so I would go pick this one first out of the two. If I had to smoke the Flush, the Connecticut, I would probably smoke that with coffee or something like that. This one right here, you could drink a whiskey with this, and it would pair very well with this cigar. All right, so I've knocked off my ash and started creating another ash. So I want to say I'm probably about halfway through the cigar, and now the flavors are picking up. It's getting a little bit stronger to me, so I'm starting to enjoy this one just a little bit more. All right, so I'm getting down here about nub zone, and picked up in flavor about halfway through, so that impresses me about this one right here. This is the Royal, and I think I'm just going to smoke a little bit more before I burn my fingers. But if you're going to buy, so far, of the two that I've tried, I'm going with the Royal so far. Keep following with me, and we will try the next cigar in the lineup. All right, so I'm here with the King. It's supposed to be a Toro, a 6x60, 6 inches long by a 60 ring gauge. But from my experience, this is not a 60 ring gauge. A 60 ring gauge would be a lot fatter than this. 60 ring gauge would be a 60th of a 64th of an inch, if that makes sense. So I don't think this is a 60 ring gauge. This may be a 6-inch long cigar. I haven't brought out my measuring tape to measure, but that looks about right. Of course, you got the wrapper folded over on the foot here. That's fine. And then you have the pigtail here on the end. And like I was saying before, if this is done right, I should be able to just pull this pigtail off here. Pigtail. And I'm supposed to have a draw hole right there. And we'll give it a try. We'll slide it up and see what happens. The King is supposed to be the full body of cigars. Well, I guess the draw hole is there. That I like. Now this one I actually like. The King. It's got some spiciness to it as I start smoking here from the beginning at the foot. Great draw hole here where I've removed the pigtail from. Again, I don't believe this is a 60 ring gauge. Got a little bit of veininess here on the wrapper, but after sitting in the humidor for a few days, I think it is acclimated to my environment. Okay, So far, it's pretty good. I'm actually enjoying this one here. The King from Dama. All right, so probably have about half an inch into it. Pretty decent burn. A lot of white ash there on the end of it. Flavoring is not too bad. I get a little bit of some bitterness, some spice. See if I can retrohale. Not bad. All right, so far, I'm thinking this is the best one out of the bunch of the sample that I have tried. So as you go further up, you have the Connecticut, then you go to the medium. This is the full-bodied. As of right now, I'm really digging this one. All right, so I'm removing the band, the Dama band, off my cigar. Got worked up loose, and it's just going to get in my way. I'm really digging this one right here, the King. So I'm tossing out the band, but I'm going to keep smoking this thing. Had a little bit of bitterness, some pepperiness, some woody notes, a little uneven burn, but that's probably due to I was using a soft flame lighter instead of a normal torch. Not a huge deal. Overall, I'm really digging this cigar. And the draw hole is perfect after removing the pigtail on this. Yeah. I think I found me a new favorite. This is really damn good. All right, so as I'm getting closer to the cap here, it started cracking a little bit. Maybe the cigar just needed more time to rest in my humidor. But that's pretty good ash on there right there. I'm gonna knock it off. And that's pretty firm to knock off the ash. So that tells me it's a good roll and good humidity throughout the cigar. A little bit cracking, it happens. Not a huge deal. Still smoking good, still great taste. It's not as strong as it was in the beginning, but yeah, if I had to choose between the three, I would go with this one, the King. All right, normally this is a really good cigar, the King by Dama. Normally I would smoke it up to the nub here at the end, but it's starting to crack and kind of fall apart. That probably has to do with not sitting in my humidor for a very long time. I did try to wait at least a week or so. I thought it was ready, but it smoked really good. So overall, I'm very impressed with this cigar, but I'm going to just put this down to let it go out on its own. I'm not going to finish it up to the nub, but overall, this one is going to be my favorite of the bunch that I tried. So now, time to give you my final thoughts. All right, my final thoughts on Dama Cigars. So as you can see throughout my video, I have reviewed the Flush, the Connecticut Churchill. I have reviewed the Robusto, which is known as the Royal. And I have reviewed the King, which is their 6x60. So of these three that I've tried, I'm going to go with my winner of choice here as the King. This is a full-bodied cigar. The Royal wasn't too bad either. It's a medium body, pretty good. If you're just starting off and new to cigars, then I'm going to recommend that you start with their Connecticut, which is the Flush here. It's a Churchill, so if you're into long cigars, 7 inches long, this will be the choice right here. Overall, I mean, not a bad cigar in the bunch here. Now you do, in my experience, getting these sent from Florida. I did have to let them sit in my humidor for a little while to get acclimated to my environment. So the ones that I tested probably could have sat for a little bit longer, especially when I tried out the flush here. This one has been sitting a little bit longer than the previous ones that I've smoked, and it's a little bit firmer, so I believe that this one will smoke a lot better than the first one I tried, as well as, yep, these are all very well humidified right here. So I think the resting time, this one is a little bit, no, this is good too, the King. So in my experience, when you get these, normally cigars, when they're shipped to you, they are ready to smoke right out of the box because the owner has already kept them in the humidor to preserve them and protect them before shipping out to the customer. So again, coming from Florida to here, it is cold outside and it's warmer down in Florida, so it tends to soak up more humidity in the tobacco as it's sitting down there. And coming up here into a colder climate, I realized that it was a little over humidified. Not a huge deal. To rectify that, I just put these inside my humidors back here. I let them sit and get acclimated to my environment, which I believe has provided an overall better experience. So just keep that in mind whenever you order cigars from any company, regardless if it's online or you pick them up from your local tobacconist at their cigar shop. What they have set up for their climate there could be different than what you have set up for your climate at your home. So sometimes you may have to put these cigars away and let them get acclimated to your environment to give you a better overall experience when smoking them. Chantel, I finally reached out to Chantel, the owner. It was a very pleasant conversation. I enjoyed talking with her. She is in the process of relocating and moving because her business is booming. This is always a good thing. So I look forward to seeing what she comes up with next. Chantel, I think you did an excellent job of getting these cigars made and putting your name on them. These are not bad cigars. You just need to let them sit. This was my experience. It could be different for you. If I had to choose, again, I'm going with the King. It's a full-bodied smoke. Very excellent. I love the fact that I could take the pigtail off here on the end without having to cut anything and get a good, excellent draw as I smoked on it. So whoever wrote this, they did an amazing job. I truly enjoy the King. The flush here, excellent. Mild cigar here with the Connecticut wrapper on it. Not bad. The Royal here, the Robusto, I thought it had some excellent tasting to it as well. And if you recall, I did do a punch on it, which provided an excellent draw throughout the cigar. You could really use a straight cut. They're not too big where you need to use a V cut. But so for these cigars, I would probably choose either a punch or a straight cut when smoking these cigars. I don't think it's a big enough ring gauge where it requires to use a V cut on them. So for the pricing, it's about average cigar pricing that I have seen throughout my travels, as well as my knowledge of going to various cigar shops. So on your average prices here, this was $10 a stick for the flush. It was $10 for the Royal, the Robusto, and $12 for the King. That's market average pricing. If you're looking to try some cigars and you're new to the game, I'm going to recommend that you reach out to Dama Cigars. Give them a try. Pick up their sample pack. You shouldn't be disappointed in what you get. That is all I really have for my review on this cigar company here, Dama and their cigars. I'll drop a link down below for Dama Cigars, so you can go over to the website, check them out. My recommendation is, if you're new, pick up the sampler pack. You can't go wrong for the pricing. You're going to get 6 cigars. I believe I paid $56. Don't quote me. I don't have the website up in front of my face to verify this, but for 6 cigars at that pricing, you can't pass it up. If nothing else, you get a great sample of a mild, a medium, and a full bite cigar. So you can't go wrong with that. Also, I look forward to coming back here on my channel and doing a one-on-one interview with Chantel. I'm in the process of working that out right now. So stay tuned and look forward to my drop of the one-on-one interview with Chantel from Dama Cigars.